The ARVC is a disease that has greatly impacted my very close family, and I needed to do something for my own mental, emotional, and physical health. So I decided I wanted to cycle across the country, but we are now using the ride as a launch to our website for this disease. I started in St. John's, Newfoundland on August 27th, and yesterday, 46 days later, I arrived in St. Jacobs, Ontario. Originally my plan was to start last May and go from the Pacific to the Atlantic Ocean. Because of COVID, border restrictions, crossings, etc. were a challenge. So by the time we were able to leave Ontario, I didn't have many favorable cycling months left, so I decided to split the trip into two parts. We're doing the East Coast, did the East Coast this year, and going to go from the Pacific Ocean back to this region next year. There certainly have been challenges with all of those things at various times. It's been hot some days, it's been cold some days, it's been rainy some days, but you know what? I'm cycling through it in any of those conditions. I'm pedaling through it with the mindset that regardless of any challenges the terrain or the weather can provide me, they're nothing like the challenges my family and many others are facing when they're dealing with this disease in themselves. I get up around 5 o'clock, I have some nutrition, I hydrate, have a coffee, and about an hour to two later, I start pedaling. So usually around dawn, either slightly before or slightly after dawn, depending on where I am, the time of year, and the weather conditions. And I'll pedal, approximately from 6 a.m. to noon or 1 or 2 o'clock, at which time I'll address nutrition again and have a nap and have a rest. So that's typically my riding day. We've all heard of the stories of young people, usually fit, active, healthy people, dropping dead from sudden cardiac arrest. The hockey player on the ice rink, the footballer playing soccer. We've heard these stories. Some of us, many people out there know somebody that has a relative that this has happened to. Unfortunately, this has happened to our family. My wife died at the age of 31 back in 2001 with no explanation of a sudden cardiac arrest, and my 23-year-old son has now had 5 sudden cardiac arrests. The biggest thing we're asking people to do is to share our story, and there are so many ways to do that. While I'm riding, people can follow my ride on social media at ride number 4 ARVC, or just share our story, tell their friends, tell their doctors, tell their cardiologists what we're doing about this disease.